Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Jean's Life Lessons.
Hi
We're
guys.
here with Jean Mitton, and we are moving on to chapter 3 of the book Wake Up, Grow Up, and Stop It. And in chapter 3, we have four lessons in chapter 3. And the first one, we move in back into racism, and it says, racism is a learned behavior from our childhood.
It is indeed. So in the book, I was taught a poem in Standard 1, which is now grade 3 today. And it said, "Shoo, said the black man pushing up the hill. Car won't go, but black man will. What will the white man do with his car if he didn't have the black man to push it that far?"
Oh, wow.
So I came home to my mother and I told her the poem, and my mother next morning put her hat on, grabbed my hand and dragged me back to school into the principal's office and threatened the principal with his life if he ever taught me something like this ever again.
Oh, sure.
So racism is a learned behavior. I was taught, however, that I was better than the Afrikaner. So that was white on white racism,
Yeah. And you mentioned there's also the black on black.
black on black
And I
racism.
know there's Asian and upon Asian
And
racism.
even I guess in classes, hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, India is full of classes, so
Yeah.
I'm better than you because I don't know, do they believe that or do they believe they just different classes and it's okay? I might be wrong.
No, it's a form of racism because they go with the lighter skin and the darker skin. And if you
Okay.
have a lighter skin, you're more advanced or
Maybe I'll have to speak to my Indian mates about that. So they can correct me.
yes,
I've got 3 lined up. I'm coming to get you.
yes. So how do we unlearn the behavior?
Okay, so I don't know, where were you in 1988? Young man.
Yes.
Okay. So I remember driving home from Pietermaritzburg to Scottborough, and my mum had asked me please to bring a little bottle of brandy for the fruitcake.
Yeah.
So I rode into Scottborough, and there was the bottle store. And in my days, the bottle stores had 2 doors in South Africa. So the one was for non-whites and the one was for whites. And I got out my car, and I had woken up, just become conscious, and I looked at the white door and I thought, nope, I'm going in the non-white door.
Oh,
So I walked into the non-white side of that bottle store, and it was just wooden with a little slit like this for me to look through. And I stood waiting, and the next minute there was a man there, and he took one look at me and he said, "You must go next door." I said, "Go where next door?" Yeah. He said, "No, you must go next door. You don't come in this side of the bottle store." I said, "Well, I've come in this side of the bottle store, and I want a little bottle of brandy." So through that little hole, you could see the little bottles at the back where they all kept,
yeah.
but you could see nothing else.
Oh,
So if I wanted a nice bottle of red wine, then I had to just trust the guy because I wasn't allowed to go in and choose my bottle of red wine. Okay.
oh,
So that was a conscious effort to, I don't think I ever went in another non-whites only entrance. I stood up and I went in all the non-whites entrance in all the shops
yes.
because that was, it was 88. We were busy, I think 1988 to 1994 with very difficult years in South Africa.
Yes.
People had been murdered, there were spies on this side, spies on that side, and goodness knows what else. So that was one incident. The other incident was in ICU that I remember very clearly, also making a conscious decision. I think we took the first Dark Sisters into ICU around about 88. People were changing, okay?
Hmm.
Even though apartheid wasn't gone. And
Yeah.
I remember very clearly an old pale lady lying in the bed, and she looked at me and she said, "Sister, sister, sister, come here." I went there, she said, "Please call the mate." Now, mate in South Africa is servant, is maid, I suppose,
Yeah.
internationally. She pointed at my colleague and said, "Please call that mate." I said, "What do you want the mate for?" She said, "I've dropped something on the floor. She must pick it up for me."
Oh, my word.
So I looked at my colleague and I said, who was a registered nurse like me, I said, "Hey, sister, sister, come here." Patient in the bed, like looking at me. "No, I want." I said, "I'm the mate.
Oh.
This is the sister. I'll pick up your thing on the floor." And I bent down and gave it to her. And
Yes.
we all laughed. Patient, I'm sure, it was different after that, as were we in the units. So those were
Hmm.
conscious decisions to realize this is a load of crap, man. What are we doing?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
It's amazing how we've come to judge each other
Yeah.
through the color of our
Yes.
skin.
But I do believe that South Africans are much further than the 2 first world countries in the world in racism. I mean, I worked in England, and there, it was also a long time ago, probably before you were born, but somewhere around there. I mean, you couldn't mention the word black, okay? But you could mention, once you got home, you
Yeah.
could do what you liked, which was a load of nonsense, okay? Does this look white? No, it looks paler than dark. Okay. So there's no such thing as white and black. We pale brown and dark brown.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
when you realize that and become conscious about it, then you can realize what you're doing.
Yeah. It's really tough, especially growing up, and it's ingrained
Yes.
all over
Yes.
in everything that you do.
Yes. Yes. I don't have I told you about the little girl in the arm on my kitchen table.
I think it was on there, but you can, yeah, let's.
I don't know if you guys have heard it. I don't want to
okay.
repeat myself, so we'll listen to the video when it's finished and then make a decision, okay? Because I can't remember, I'm old and at it. But yes, racism is a learned behavior. So if you don't teach your kids, you must go first because you're pale, no nonsense. Little kids won't know the difference. They don't know.
They don't. I mean, you can see them on the playground. They just play with children.
Yes, like the little girl who said to Mommy, can Mary Jane come and play tomorrow? And her mother said, what color is Mary Jane? And the little girl said, I don't know. I'll ask you tomorrow, Mommy.
Exactly.
Okay, so
exactly.
Unless we teach them, they don't know.
Yeah.
So that's where it's got to start.
Is it got to also do with a false sense of power?
Look, I'm not a historian, but I certainly think we were all colonized by all these countries that came here and said, take off your grass skirt, here's a Bible, and you have to believe what I believe. And therein came, I am better than you. So, I mean, that's been around for eons, and the whole world was colonized, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and those colonizing people were all pale, weren't they?
Yeah. But I mean,
I don't know.
The pale people fought those colonizers. The Boers fought.
Yeah.
The English.
So. My English friends, are you listening? Okay. Because you're all moaning about Ukraine, Russia being Ukraine, but the English did the same in South Africa.
Yeah.
So this is where we've come from, but it's time now to change that. That's behaviour's past. And if we don't do something soon and change it, we're all in bigger trouble than what we really are.
Yeah.
So.
And just to acknowledge once again, to acknowledge who we really are, because the light in us is exactly the same as the light in anyone with any other skin color on the planet.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
When we get there, we can stop it.
Yes.
Stop all the rubbish.
Wake up, grow up, and stop it. Yes.
Yes.
So become conscious enough to know that you're not better than. You're different, yes.
Yes. And that produces a real, authentic sense of power, as opposed to having a fake sense of power over someone else.
Yeah.
When you know yourself and you know that in me is exactly the same as you, there's an authentic power.
Yes, and I pick my nose too. Don't forget that, okay?
Yes, so we don't have to.
There's no judging there.
Exactly, judge.
It's a false judgment. That's ridiculous. But we taught that.
That is a taught behavior.
So mothers of children, fathers of children, if you're around, you better teach your kids differently.
Or else they'll just repeat the same
again and again and again.
Over and over. And
it's time, man.
It's our job to stop all those generational.
It's time to stop it now, really. We've done it over and over and over and over. We have to take a step in a different direction.
Yeah.
And if you do it and I do it, the neighbor will do it. And then the other side neighbor will do it. How nice would it be to get out of bed in the morning?
Lovely.
Yes. I agree.
Well, let's do our share and go out there and see people for who they really are, not what's on the outside.
Yes, and not what we think.
Or what we think, our judgments.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.